Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and today we have a returning guest who is a phenomenal actress. Phenomenal. She's just phenomenal in everything. Even being in person, she's just phenomenal.
Oh, thank you, Josh. Hi, I'm
Yeah.
happy to be here.
Uh, so Chloe Lutz is she's got a lot going on right now. You do.
I do. There's quite a bit.
But that's the exciting part is getting everything going,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Agreed.
Uh, so before we get into not there,
Mhm.
kind of just catch us up on what's going on since the last time we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Um, since a couple weeks ago. Honestly, not much since then, I feel, because there's been a lot of like stuff is starting to go. Oh, I guess there's Hallways of the Unforgiven. I'm part of that now. I don't know if that was before then or I honestly I'm forgetting the timeline, but I'm Hallways of the Unforgiven by Heidi McCack. It's incredible. And then I'm also in the prequel for that, which is fun too. She surprised us all with that, and I was like, "Ooh, that'll be fun." Um, and yeah, it's kind of the only thing that's popped up since then.
Oh yeah. Uh, so let's just get right into not there then.
Yeah.
So if you want to give a little bit of a again, because I know we've talked about it before and people have seen it, but just because believe it or not, there's a lot of new people still. But just give us a quick reminder of how you came into getting involved with this project and all the good stuff.
Yeah, so I had reached out to you and I was like, is there any casting? Because this movie seemed really interesting and it was by you and I wanted to work with you because I enjoy talking with you so much. Um, and so you said no, but there is the cut, and I was like, all right, I'll do that. And I was excited that there was just something. And then I auditioned for that, and then you were like, hey, just kidding. There's actually a role that I fully thought was going to be a background role, an extra role. Like I was like, all right, I'll go to Michigan for that. That sounds fun. I mean, I want to meet all of you, so I was like, sure. And I saw like there were quite a few people getting cast in like the undisclosed roles. So I thought we were going to be like background type thing. Um, and then I was much more surprised by the character. But
Oh
I
yeah,
am so happy. I love her.
oh yeah. You have been cast as Bex. That's you know that's what I call the character. Everyone else is like, "What's her full name?" I'm like, it's Bex.
I like Bex. Bex is cool.
Oh yeah. Uh, and the script has been well, one format of the script has been sent out, and everyone's finally had their eyes on it. What draws you more now that you've read the script? What draws you more to the character now?
Um, she's so creepy. I love her. I think she has this very dominant power over her, even though she doesn't say a whole lot. And at least when she's introduced, she doesn't say a whole lot yet. Um, and I think that's so intriguing. Like I think she just holds a lot of power, and that's very I'm very excited to play around with that. And just in general with the script, I was very drawn to it because of how natural it all seemed, and like all the conversations flow really well, all the scenes flow really well. I applaud you for that. It's very well written, and I've been enjoying reading it.
Oh yeah. Uh, so being because I've seen some of the other stuff you've been in, and you've been in some horror, you've been in some drama and stuff like that. But have you ever been in something this graphic?
um, I think. I think Blood in the Bleachers is pretty graphic. You probably haven't seen it yet because it's not out, obviously, so you wouldn't have seen it. But it is pretty graphic. It has a lot of SFX and like the deaths are pretty cruel. Um, but I think this definitely comes to match it. And same with Sister Sullivan is pretty. It's pretty dark as well. So there, I don't mind the graphicness. I do SFX myself, so I'm actually really excited to see how the deaths. These are definitely unique deaths, though, that I have not seen in a script that I wouldn't have yet. So that's fun. They're definitely unique and different,
Oh yeah.
and I'm excited to see how they all work out.
Oh yeah. Uh, so I want to give a little bit more detail on how the character actually came about and just give the audience just a little bit of like a snippet of what's in store.
Okay.
Uh,
Um,
Go ahead.
she is dark, but it's kind of hard to tell where her darkness comes from. And it's hard to even understand how dark she is really when she's first introduced. Of course, the last bit of the movie you could kind of tell. But when she's first introduced, it's like, all right, hey girl, you and your little friends, all right, y'all are kind of creepy, but all right. And then she has a very nice energy, I feel. I mean, it's not sinister right up the front. She's very calm, collected. Hey guys, and that's interesting. But she definitely has way much more darkness laying underneath.
Oh
Way more.
yeah. Uh, so in creating the character, there was specific rules I was allowing myself to follow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so many horror movies, I've seen so many supernatural movies, slashers and stuff like that. But my thing is why put all the eggs in one basket when you can pluck different
Yeah.
things? And I will say, like everyone says, there's the calm before the storm. With this character, throughout the first one at least, it's a lot of calm.
Mm-hmm. And that's
And
what I like. Like I thought that was very interesting.
oh yeah, I will say, and if you're willing to, spoiler here, if you're willing to come back for part two, the character
Mhm.
is in part two.
Mhm.
I'm already deep in writing the script, so which is crazy because I'm just now getting the script for part one out there. No.
Yeah. Everything moves. Everything's moving at once.
Oh yeah. Uh, I am going to go and say when you first reach out and for this,
Mhm.
I was like, I gotta find a way to get you in here. Just because you're a phenomenal actress, your talent
Oh,
is out there. I mean, like you have tremendous talent.
thank you.
You're welcome. And the best part about you auditioning for the cut was like as you were doing that and I was watching it, I was literally like, Bex. That's exactly what I did. You guys, my wife, she was sitting right next to me. But there is a sneaky kind of suspicion to her,
Mm.
but the power she holds goes way more into different layers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I've kind of gotten that from her because like I said, she's very calm. It's hard to understand her at first, but even when you choose what path you want to go down to guess what she is, you're still probably wrong.
Right. You know, uh, so to me, the meat and potatoes of the story is the character development. Like I
Mhm.
love the gore, I love the violence, but the character development, you
Mhm.
know, and with the way we're breaking down the main character Charlie and building up the main character of Mary, there's got to be that counter equal to what's making it happen.
Yeah.
You know? So a lot of people, especially all the cast, but a lot of people have tried to figure out what characters you guys play. No,
Oh, yeah, because no one knows.
right.
I keep
So
forgetting that. I keep forgetting that.
oh no, it's cool. It's cool. There is a reason why I was like saying undisclosed character, undisclosed, because I was like, not yet. I got to give everyone their names And if you everyone's noticed, we've added a couple more characters,
Hmm.
but I will say here's a spoiler. I wrote it, so I'll spoil something. The power your character holds is not just for this group.
Mm,
You know,
that's
there
interesting.
there's more layers, like I said, that we really dive into part two with it,
Yeah.
and it gets a little bit more intricate on why your character is doing what your character is doing.
Okay. A little background.
Oh yeah.
Background of the Darkness. Love that. See, I really, I was gonna say that too. I love all the characters' names for all the undisclosed roles, by the way. Those were really cool. I really enjoyed. And I was going back and looking at everything we have to figure out who was who and who I was like interacting with in the script. I was like, oh, this is her. Okay, cool.
uh Actually, so every army, whether you're good, bad, whatever, you got to have your generals.
Hmm.
And I will say the character, I'm not going to spoil that, but the character you're around the most is your right hand man. So, I mean, like, if there's yin, there's always going to be yang. That's all I'm going to
Hmm.
say. Yeah.
Always gotta have a side
Oh,
guy to
yeah.
do all the dirty work
Oh, yeah.
when you're
Oh,
running
yeah.
a huge thing like that. But I feel like I mean, I say side guy, but they really do kind of carry similar power within the group at least.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think that's pretty neat.
Oh, yeah. Uh, so going into reading it from the beginning to, without spoiling too much,
Mhm.
I'll, you what scenes have stuck out to you specifically, whether it be your scenes or someone else's scenes, and you go ahead and say which ones those are.
Yeah, I think a lot of the scenes with Silver made me very interested. And I was like, what's going on with her? Like, why is she doing all the things she's doing? And then it kind of made a little more sense when I got to the end of or the beginning of the third act. I was like, oh, okay, I see where this might be going. I think I'm right. I don't know. Um, and then the other scene that like really stood out to me was the scene where they go into the hotel for the first time and they run in, encounter the second group. Because
Yeah.
I just think that whole interaction is so weird. If I was in that situation, because I mean, I go and do like I love creepy things. I love going to like creepy buildings. If I ever saw a group staring at me like that, the way I'd leave, the way I'd go, okay, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to be here. Or like really keep an eye on them because that just was very creepy and I liked the tension you built in that scene a lot.
Yeah. uh, One of the things I was trying to do was keep the authentic part of it, because I mean, I can see how old everyone is by their Facebook pages and stuff. So
Right.
these characters are the same age as you guys in real life.
Mhm.
And I don't see a lot of other movies doing that, you know.
Yeah.
And I will say one thing I'm looking forward to come to life, I will agree, is that hotel scene. Because I mean, just Pope and DJ and like, all right, I'll say it. You put your dog in check. You're like, sit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that that's just the first thing she says because I feel like you established her power right off the bat, which I thought was a very interesting detail. And I think people will check that, before they go into it, but then they might be like, oh, maybe not. Maybe that was just a moment. And then it's like, nope, it was her getting her people into place. Pope is an interesting character. I wanna learn more about them, about
Oh,
him.
oh, oh yeah. It's I will say, leading up to the hotel, the airiness and the creepiness was there. But once you got to the hotel, you knew that it was about to shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good kind of limbo standstill moment before everything kind of goes to shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh, so I do want to say though, like people who see this cast, they're like, and this is outside the cast, like people who look at the posts and see who's on it, they're like, wow, you know, like I've had people who follow everything that we do that I work with walk up to me and be like, "You're doing this?" I was like, "Well, it's a group effort." So, but
Yeah.
I will say every single person who has been attached to this, even the people at the beginning that are no longer with us, everyone has so much talent.
Hmm.
And I try to, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you've read the majority of it. I have tried to give everybody their moment to kind of shine.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, there are quite a few kind of minor characters, but even those characters, I feel like I saw them and I know them. And when I moved on from them, I was still thinking about them, when they, in like a later conversation, I kind of was like, oh, I wonder if that person, you know, did this or that when they kind of bring them up again. So I think you did that well. Yeah.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course.
uh, so I've asked everybody, and it's kind of an on the spot kind of thing. I think I've asked you already once, so I'll just ask you again. After reading the script, what are you looking forward to most, and who are you kind of like interested in seeing how they bring the character to life?
Oh, yes, I did answer this before, and it is still Marley. Because I'm still very interested to see how she plays around with Charlie and obviously her, you know, challenges that she has to face in this movie. And I'm very interested to see how she goes about that and how her and I kind of interact and how our chemistry reads on camera with our two specific, very drastically different characters. And I think that'll be really fun to play with. And that's something I am looking forward to, especially after meeting her on a call. Like now I kind of know her a little bit more. So now I'm even more excited to kind of play around with the dynamic with her.
uh, uh, so let's talk about a little bit more of the characters who have yet to come on the show or just have just been added. Like none of you have met Budwell. Oh no, if you were at the first cast meeting, people have met Budwells, but no one's met Bree, who's playing Raven.
Mhm.
I know her personally. She is a phenomenal person. I think her dynamic is going to bring something different, but I also think that because this is her first acting ever, like ever.
Yeah.
And I think, like her being able to be a sponge off of, your talent, Casey's talent, Paul directing, just like I think everyone who's new to this is going to be able to, they should be able to be sponges to kind of absorb what they can because I
Mhm.
think that every last one of you bring a different dynamic to not just the cast, but to the set,
Yeah.
you know,
100%.
and I think like there's a couple wild cards. And from what you read, I think you know who some of the wild cards are. But there's a couple wild cards who you just don't know,
Mhm.
what's going to happen. But let's talk about what kind of music, because that's something I don't ask a lot of people. Now, I have some music already for the film.
Mhm.
People have donated graciously, which I'm grateful for. What kind of music do you see your character having on screen or having played when you're on screen?
Oh wow, she's on screen. That's interesting. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Gosh, almost like I want to say something with like a broken instrument in the background because I want like I feel like the music should sound so pretty almost, but with something that's like slightly wrong to kind of represent Bex in a way. I don't know a song specifically, but something like that. Because there's definitely something like that out there with like a broken piano sound or like a broken string on a guitar, something like that, that I think would be very interesting. That just kind of like comes in and out of the song that's playing.
Oh yeah, I actually agree with that. I mean, that's a good idea. I'm Now I'm going to try to find it.
I'll start
uh,
looking for you. I still need to make my playlist.
uh, I don't want to share too much about what goes on in that third act,
Mhm.
but I do want to share one thing. There's a very specific, and we won't tell nobody what it is, but there's a very specific quote that your character gets to say.
Mhm.
And I've seen other people say the quote. I was like, just, people in, like my wife has said it. Just other people I know have said it. And I'm like, do it as creepy as you can.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I mean, you can stop now because I'm actually starting to get chills. But that quote is so specific. And I think at that moment, once the audience hears that quote, they know exactly where your character is and where your character stands, if that makes sense.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll be like the second that's kind of said, it's like a pin drop and silence. And it's like, oh, right, we're doing this. Oh, right, okay.
Oh yeah. I do want to ask you though, from what you read, and I've gotten quite a few people's opinions on the cast, but from what you've read, do you think the ambitious part of because it gets crazy, especially in that third act, but
Yeah.
do you think that the ambition meets the outcome so far?
Yeah, I think we've definitely been able, because I mean all new films and new crews and this big of a cast and everything, I definitely can see things will be rocky, whatever. But things have definitely been, if they were settled, and everything I feel like from now on has been pretty smooth sailing. And I think, I applaud you and your entire team for kind of handling any and all situations that have occurred outside of all of us, or, separately, um, with people personally or anything like that. And I think you guys are definitely tackling it in a good way. And I think you have good people in your team that kind of know you kind of have a mix, like you said, as the cast, you have a mix in the crew where it's like very experienced versus kind of newer to the game, but know what they want. So as long as you guys know what you want, I feel like you guys will definitely get there and land there. So I feel like, yeah, definitely. I
Oh
think
yeah.
you guys are very strong-minded people, and I think you guys will definitely meet your ends.
Uh, uh, so everyone has read the script. I'm going to say that probably so many times. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Uh, now that you've read it? What are your expectations for yourself and for this film?
It's a good question. Um, I was very impressed with the script. So I mean, I was already kind of going into this being like, this is going to be fun. Like, a bunch of new filmmakers and non-new filmmakers, kind of more experience. I thought that was going to be a fun mix of people. Because I know when we all get together, it's going to be like a whole chat box when we're not filming, and it's going to be really fun. But I feel like my expectations were pretty high going into it, and I think they're still pretty high now that I've seen the script. I think they might be even higher. I mean, just because it's so well written, I think we can definitely succeed in all of that, and I think it'll be super fun to witness and be a part of. So yeah, my expectations are just always have been and continue to be good.
I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
uh, so let's go to some of your other projects. Let's talk a little bit what you can talk about Sister Sullivan because the first one of that, the first Harvest, was an excellent movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so uh what can you tell us about that one that won't spoil nothing and that won't get you in trouble?
Um, it is the second part to the first harvest, obviously, and it definitely takes a darker turn. You learn more about what's behind everything, and kind of why everyone in particular came into the situation they did. And you know, you kind of see what's the word? The evolution of Jay Sullivan's leave on this on everyone. And you kind of see people going through it, you know, like Sophia in particular, she has friends now and she's kind of moving on, but it's definitely not easy for a lot of people. And I think that's something that I kind of love about how it was written, because it shows the trauma and the trauma responses and kind of how people are moving on or trying to. And I think that's really important because I feel like when it comes to slashers and everything, nobody talks about, you know, how people are affected by everyone dying around them. But I think Sister Sullivan tackles that pretty well. And I applaud the writer for that. And I just think it is kind of a fun variant of the original story. And you definitely see new characters and new scenarios, and of course, nothing's over, so it's very exciting. And yeah.
Nah, it's so the first harvest, the way it ended, not gonna lie. I was like, you're gonna leave me on a cliffhanger and I have to
Mhm.
until you guys bring out part two. And then all of a sudden it's like, Paul was telling me, hey, we're about to start working on this. And like I got goosebumps talking to him about it. And I was like, okay, I'm for it, you know. And then when I saw what I saw of it, like the behind the scenes or the teaser and stuff like that, I'm sitting there
Yeah.
thinking like just that teaser, you can tell it's in a darker area for
Yeah.
this entire movie.
Yeah. The energy is definitely a little shifted in this one.
Oh yeah, you know. But I do like that all the characters who survived the first one do return.
Mhm.
I do like that because you get some movies where a character will survive and then all of a sudden it's like we don't need you no more. Yeah,
Right.
I see Paul's not like that. Hopefully, well, I know I'm not like that. Because everyone who survives this one is in part two if they would choose to come back.
Right.
uh, so would you say that horror is kind of like your driving force behind what you want to do, or are you still open to kind of just do everything?
Oh, I'm entirely open to do everything and anything. I just love acting. And I just think it is so fun to explore a million and one variants of characters. I love that so much. Character building is my favorite part of it all because I think it's so fun to kind of collect this personality that you've been given that you have probably been given the freedom to decide certain things about. Sometimes you're given a background and you kind of figure out where that goes from there, or you're not given a background and you kind of have to make your own background. I think that's fun, and that's kind of where my like music playlists come in to play. And I just think character building is so fun, and I would love to explore different worlds. I really want to do like fantasy, coming of age, period pieces. Like I would love to do all of that stuff. That would be super fun. And I love horror. Don't get me wrong. I love doing SFX. I love horror. I love the stories. I think there's a lot of creativity within the horror realm as it is, and I love that I'm in it. I'm very grateful that I'm in it, and I'm really happy that I'm in it because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I did any, you know, other genres. So there is that.
Oh yeah. Uh, well, so everyone asked me because I already have a timeline. I actually had a timeline before we even had the script out to everybody. Call me crazy. Uh, some people have asked me, can they be in like one, two, and three are not there? Can they be in the cut? Can they be in, Sirens of Blackwater and just
Mhm.
other things? And I'm like, as long as people want to be in my films, I'm happy because that means I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, I will say though that going into part two of Not There, the by the way part one ends, it literally sets forth how part two is going to be.
Hmm.
And by the ending of part one, we've broken down so many different characters. We've killed off so many characters. uh, to me, I'm always about good versus evil, but
Hmm.
I'm not against sometime evil winning.
Yeah.
And the way things happen, especially with Not There,
Hmm.
it's a very, I will say this, it is a very bleak story. Just by the way things happen from beginning to end. Like we begin just that nightmare scene at the beginning. Like there's no music before it.
Hmm.
There's no like the opening don't even happen until after that.
Hmm.
So going from just the nightmare, then to the opening, then to how it ends, I like it. That's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I mean, I like it too. I think it's super fun. I think it's super unique. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah. Uh, so let's talk about some of the other people. Uh, Casey's playing Carter Monroe.
Hmm.
Uh, she's a phenomenal actress too. I'll say it all day long. Everyone's phenomenal. uh, let's kind of go into your group a little bit. You got Brittany Ortez playing Bam Bam.
Hmm.
Then you got Hannah Dickens playing Autumn, which that was a late change.
Hmm.
That changed relatively earlier this week.
Hmm.
Just because as I was going back and reading it, I was like, I gotta flip it. And I talked to both of them. They were both cool about it. So, but there's so many characters that I think if we miss, like if we fell with this movie, that's entirely on me
Hmm.
because of the way it was constructed. It was constructed in a manner of point A, point B, point C, you know? But I think the airiness, the horror, the little subtle moments of, like pure happiness and stuff like that,
Hmm.
that reminds me of my childhood. Yeah. Well, I'm also ancient. I'm 46 years old. So, but like there's definitely some throwbacks. But with your character and Charlie's character, and then you add in the character of Mary, you three right there, a tour de force. That's all I'm gonna say. You know. And Jaslyn being 15 years old,
Hmm.
she's got I mean, she's ready to tackle it. You're ready to tackle it. Everyone's ready to tackle it. And I'm so excited. But the thing I'm most excited for is to see your guys' future go forward, longevity. And like I always say, I'll be a stepping stone to anybody's future, and that makes me proud. You know.
Hmm.
But I will say this movie is definitely going to test a lot of people,
Hmm.
especially me, because I'm gonna be a nervous little kid on set, like, oh crap, did I write that right? Did I do that wrong?
It's a
you
little
know,
nerve-wracking, but I know you'll get through it. Like I said, you're very strong-minded, and I think you'll definitely excel. And I think, it's a lot of ambition, and I'm sure some people are like, that's crazy. But I think you've got a good team, and I think you're gonna find some success for sure.
well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, so I'm gonna give you the floor. Talk about anything you want to talk about, whether it be promoting movies or even if you got questions for me, feel free because that seems to be something that people don't do is ask me questions. I'm all about answering. So But
Hmm.
just anything you want to talk about, the floor is yours.
Well, I will definitely have questions for you coming up. That's
All
for
right.
Um, but movie promotion, let's see. Return of the Corn Zombies is coming out soon, which I'm really excited about. I love that film so much, and I'm so proud of everyone that's a part of it, and I want everyone to see it. Um, and it's on quite a few platforms now, so that's super exciting. Sorry, I'm talking really fast, and I just realized
No, you're
that.
good. You're good.
And then Perfect Souls campaign is up right now. Our Indiegogo, we are trying to raise some money for the second section of filming, and super excited for the second section. Excited to see everyone again, and kind of tackle Nikki again. She's such an insane character, in so many fun ways for sure. Um, Hallways of the Unforgiven is on its way as for the prequel. And then Blood on the Bleachers is almost coming out too. There's been some awards winning. I mean, everyone's killing the game in that movie. I've seen it a couple times now, and I love focusing in on a few different people as time goes on. Ah, so many incredible performances. I'm obsessed with everyone in that film. um, and trying to think of what else. Everything's all jumbled up. Um, this not there. Woo. It's coming. I just did Warzone with Rady Entertainment. Really excited for that to come out. I don't know when it's coming out, but it is a really fun story. Love my character. She's a fun one. Um, and just that, I mean, stay tuned for that whole Fairhaven series. It's super interesting. Um, and yeah. Oh, Dracula is showing at Gen Con. Dracula, the Count's Can is showing at Gen Con on August 2nd, and I will be there. And
All right.
me and a few of the other cast, and I believe Eric as well. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah. Uh, well, Sister Sullivan also.
Yes, and Sister
Yeah.
Sullivan. We are continuing to film here soon. Goetia is coming out soon. It's coming out in 16 days, 15 days now. Such an insane short film, and I'm really excited for people to see the first episode of that because obviously we have more coming. Uh, and it is already turning out amazing. We shot a couple scenes from it already, and it is so cool. I'm really excited to keep going with the Goetia series.
Oh yeah. You know, like I said, you got a lot going on.
Yes, yes. And I love it.
Oh yeah. So I've always asked everybody, like, do you ever take time away to kind of like, regenerate and stuff like that? But I kind of want to change the question a little bit because you're still, you're young. You're, I won't say you're brand new or new, but you've been in some stuff. But how do you unwind at your age? Because you got a lot going on.
Yeah. I actually love being around people so much. So when I'm gone, like when I leave a set, it's so sad. Um, and I get so sad. And so that day after, usually because I get so into my characters and specifically recently, I guess maybe the characters have been a little more challenging, which of course, as I'll go up, I'll get more and more challenging characters. But the ones in particular recently, I have been just sleeping for like the entire day after filming to kind of regenerate because I always request off work for that second, the day I get back, just so I can sleep. And then I'll check if I need to do anything else, do anything for other movies. If not, I'll just sleep. And then sometimes that same day, I'll go and hang out with some friends because my schedule is very packed. It's got acting, it's got my day job, it's got um, I make room for my boyfriend, I make room for my friends, and I have quite a bunch of like different groups of friends, so I'm trying to make room for all of them. And then I also, try to make room for my other hobbies, for studying lines for something else, creating new playlists, going to the gym. Just, it's those like little moments in between that I kind of find time to take care of myself, and I very much prioritize taking care of myself so I can keep running like this oiled machine I am. Um, And that is something I've always prioritized, whether it's just like an hour in the morning or, an hour at night. Usually late night, I'll kind of do everything I need to. But I really try to focus on taking care of myself and my mental health. And majority of that is being around the people I love. And so I do that a lot.
Oh yeah. I mean, I mean, to be able to take yourself out of anything that you're, deeply passionate about is always a good thing because sometimes I even did it myself a couple times. Like I just turned off everything and was like, not today, you know.
Yeah. And it's kind of helpful given the fact that a lot of my work is, a long drive away. So when I go home from a site, whether it's in the morning or the night of, I just kind of debrief in that car. I'll either call someone and yap about it, or I'll listen to music and kind of reminisce. Um, Especially if it was like for instance, Perfect Soul. Because that's the thing or I guess that's not the most recent thing I did. I did Warzone recently. So I'll use Warzone as a as a an option because that was quite a long drive. Um, I went, did the thing, and then going home, just kind of thinking about like, oh, this is gonna look so cool, like thinking about the effects that are gonna be taken, thinking about the people I just met, kind of thinking about our conversations, remembering kind of little details about people so that when I see them again, I can kind of bring them up. So kind of it's kind of like a memory game when I'm going home. And also I just listen to music to debrief, and just kind of also start thinking about what's next. So my brain's kind of just always moving 100 miles per hour, but it's kind of nice to have that drive to kind of let it do that and just kind of drive to, um, so it doesn't feel like that long when it's a long drive.
Oh yeah. Uh, I do want to say that I'm about to give an exclusive to everybody who's going to see this.
Ooh.
So when we start our Indiegogo, which we're aiming to start it in September, I know that's close to November, but there's a method behind the madness. But but when we start our Indiegogo, one of the perks that is going to be there is when we're filming behind the scenes stuff. This right here will be in one of those behind the scenes videos. Whoever spots it gets to come to the premiere of the movie and will be our special VIP. It's only for one person. And that VIP gets to spend the entire day with the cast from the time we start our event to the time we end our event.
Oh, that's so fun. That's exciting.
And that will be entirely funded by me.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Nice.
but
So,
that one exclusive.
yeah, that's super exciting for someone who's interested.
Oh yeah.
Kind of
You
party
know,
with the cast.
yeah. Well, I told all my friends that they're not allowed to do it. So, but now there's believe it or not, there's a lot of buzz. Like, I mean, there's so much buzz going on about just independent film in general.
Yeah.
But we've been approached. NC-17 Productions has been approached by a few different podcasts asking if we can come on and kind of promote the movie a little bit, and we kicked that off on August 10th at 7 p.m. on Welcome to the Spotlight, which is hosted by Martez Al.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
That's super exciting.
For that one, it's going to be me, Jaslyn, and Tara Hetler, and then there's some other ones that are coming up that I'm going to reach out to various cast members and say, hey, do you want to do this? And you were actually specifically asked for on one of them, which I will tell you when it gets time to do that one,
Okay.
because
Wow.
they really they they've seen everything you've done so far. So
Aw.
and I was like, I can ask and we can see what we can do. So
Yeah, I'm a yapper. I love talking to people, so I'm all down for all sorts of podcasts.
oh yeah. Uh yeah, it's I'm I want to say thank you. I'm humbled. I'm always going to stay humble. I'm grateful, and I'm blessed because yourself and everyone else involved with this is making this a reality, and it's been something I've dreamt about since I was 5. So,
Yeah, well, thank you for bringing us all together, this crazy group of people. You're bringing them all together. You're making it happen for all of us. I mean, some people you're giving their first opportunity, and that's huge. And like, pat yourself on the back. That's big. And like your script writing, it's amazing. Like, you can kind of tell you've always dreamed of doing this just with your mind space and your excitement. Like it's really great to see someone so excited, and that's super exciting. And yeah, I'm super grateful to be a part of this and for you to kind of see me as Bex. I was very, very grateful, very excited.
uh, I do want to say with Bex specifically, there is a story being told separately from the story being told. And I think the story that Bex has to tell is going to be a driving force going forward with a different dynamic for what we're doing.
Mhm.
And like there's things I could tell you, but then it'd ruin it. So but I will say that everyone, and I mean everyone, gets to see at least one action scene for each of their characters. That's
Mhm.
something I will always stand by. Everyone gets one, they whether it be throwing a punch or stabbing somebody, whatever. We don't condone real violence, but
Just fake violence, just fake violence. I
right.
always say recently, especially, I've been saying that's something you can only say on a movie set because people would be like, "Oh yeah, put this dirt in my mouth," and it's like that's only something you can say here, and it's fine.
Oh yeah.
It's funny.
Oh yeah. I do want to give a shout out to Amanda Howell, who has been literally with me from the beginning. She brings something to the table that I can't bring, and that's a tenacity that only she has, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like everyone's tenacious, but she you will see when we're on set and you get to talk to her.
Yeah. Oh, Amanda, I'm excited to meet you.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's always an honor being able to just talk to anybody, but it's really an honor being able to talk to somebody who has a similar mindset, who is in this for the passion. I mean, we
Mhm.
all want to get paid, but you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm grateful. There's I guess that's all I can say is I'm grateful. So
Yeah. Yeah. I've been feeling that recently too.
yeah. Uh but I'm gonna give you the floor so you can plug your socials where people can or cannot reach out to you. That's entirely up to you. And just anything else you want to say to the audience who's going to see this.
Um, Anybody who has ever watched anything I've done, I love you and I appreciate you. And if you kind of, honed in on any of my characters, I appreciate you for noticing kind of my work. That's really crazy. It still blows my mind to this day that people have now seen me act and like seen me do what I do, and anybody thinks I'm good. Like that's wild. Because I used to, be a little girl in her room doing monologues for her phone, just trying to make it, trying to feel like I'm good. But yeah, I really have always super appreciated that, and any recognition. It's my whole heart is full with all of the kind comments and people wanting to work with me, and the sweet interactions in general with people in this industry. It's been incredible. So just want to put that out there. And then as for social media, it is Chloe Lutz everywhere, sometimes with two Z's. So it'll be CHLOELUTZ, probably. That's kind of where it is all because I changed it a while ago and then I couldn't change it back to just my name because it was my original username. So then I had to add a Z. Whatever, whatever, Instagram, whatever. But yeah. And then other than that, Indiegogo, Perfect Soul. Check it out.
Oh yeah. Uh, I'm also going to let you close out the show today.
Ah, you always make me do that, and I always freeze up, and I never know what to do. Um, right now,
No, we got a couple more minutes.
Okay. I was like,
uh, no, there's. I'm trying to find the right words. I'll say it like this: there is a calm before the storm.
yeah.
There is always that one moment of silence to where you know it's about to hit the fan.
Mhm.
That scene, that moment happens kind of like without a. It goes with a whimper, not a bang. And I think once that dynamic between the characters happens, buckle in because it's a roller coaster after that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
Yeah. But go ahead and I will let you close the show now because if we don't, I'm gonna keep talking.
Me too. Um, so I'll close it out. All right. All right. Thank you so much for attending this little interview and this little thing. Um, I'm really good at this. Um, and Josh is incredible. He's creating incredible opportunities for people. He is doing the thing that he's wished to do, just like so many of us, and it's inspiring. And I love it. I'm so proud to be by his side with it. Um, and I'm happy to be here. Peace. Thank you.
Later.